It's like if you want to try to hit everyone in the world and every age and everybody, not everyone is gonna like your product. I promise you that much. What's up, you guys? It's Kenio BeneathTheMusicDK.com, here to tell you all about how you can release music out into the world with an entrepreneurial mindset. And when we're talking about customer segments, like, let's scroll back a bit. Have you seen this before? It's called the business model canvas, and we're going to talk about this little section over here that's called the customer segments. So what is customer segments? It's the piece of the business model where you actually specify who your target audience is. Who is your customers? Who is your listeners? Who is your followers? You really want to specify that like so deeply as possible. So you're not just, when you're releasing music, just cast it into some kind of black hole out there somewhere, because a lot of musicians out there, they don't even have a clue who they're actually trying to hit. They just go into the studio, they write a really great track, and they release it onto Spotify, and they don't know what to do. Nothing is happening. So the customer segments is where you specify exactly who you're trying to hit. You have to be specific with gender, you have to be specific with age, you have to be specific with region. If it's worldwide, then you kind of have to narrow it down a little bit more. Like, who worldwide are we trying to hit the most? Because like if you want to try to hit everyone in the world and every age and everybody, not everyone is gonna like your product. I promise you that much. Like, imagine if you're making, let's say, welcome to the Juice. And by the way, if you haven't listened to the Juice podcast, just really check it out, and link is down in the description. And let's say if you're like taking a juice bottle and you make it transparent, you have to kind of imagine that transparent bottle just being on the shelf. No one is going to want that, right? Everyone's just going to walk past that. They're going to see it as an accessory, not as a product. Imagine if you filled that bottle with some kind of liquid and some kind of color. Let's make it orange. It's orange. Awesome sauce. Now, everyone is going to think this is some kind of toxic liquid. They're still walking past it, right? It kind of needs an identity. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a logo on it. There you go. And we're going to put like some kind of flavor onto it. Let's call it orange juice. Now, everyone is going to see, okay, there's an identity attached to it. There's a logo, there's substance inside this bottle, and there's a flavor variety for a specific type of people out there, like a specific audience who likes orange juice. So we're not trying to hit people who likes apple juice, or we're not trying to hit people who likes pineapple juice. We're trying to hit the ones who likes orange juice. This is the same thing you got to do with your music. If you're releasing, like, let's say, hip-hop music, you're not trying to hit the heavy metal fans. You're not trying to hit the pop fans, although that would be preferable in some cases, because there's so, like, the pop universe is just so big these days. When you release music, you want to hit something so specific as possible. And how are we going to do that? Well, let's go to Spotify for Artists. If you haven't claimed your profile yet, this would be a really good time to do so. In Spotify for Artists, you can scroll down to, you can see the specific types of regions and the specific types of, also there's so much data on Spotify for Artists that can actually help you out. There's like genders, there's like age groups, there's like regions, and all these types of data you really want to look into. These are the people who is listening to your music, and you can actually tell from this type of streams you have contra how many people are following. You can see how many people are actually returning listeners, and those returning listeners are the ones we really want to look at. If you have way more streams than you have followers, then there's a problem. If you have just as many streams per se as you have followers, then you're doing something right. What you're gonna remember with, especially with Spotify for Artists, and especially it's Spotify's and streaming services in general, the number attached beside your song doesn't really specify your success in any way. You can have like 200,000 streams on one song. If you did that, congratulations. But if you don't have like 100,000 listeners, like, then you have a problem. So what you're gonna do is take all this data and transfer it into when you're making social media ads. Social media ads, yes, exactly. So you can actually make social media ads on both Instagram, you can do it on Facebook, and you can actually do it as a story type as well. I've heard from some sources that stories works better than the post, but don't hand me up on it. When you're using these social, when you're gonna make ads for these social media, you're gonna want to take the data you collected from Spotify for Artists to hit those correct users, so you can get in front of the right people. Now, when you're doing the ads, don't be vague about it. Just don't type in hip hop fans, or you want to hit, I don't know, pop music listeners or whatever. You're gonna be very specific. Who do you resemble? Is there any artist out there that you actually resemble more than others? Let's say you're making hip hop and you resemble, let's put NF on the screen. He's an amazing artist. He's actually on tour at the moment. If you resemble NF, you want to hit the NF fans. You're going to be so specific that you actually either tap in his name. I know that's a little frowned upon, but do that. And you can also hit in the types of keywords that he is attaching to his stuff. It's not stealing, it's developing. In the previous video, I talked about value proposition. And in that value proposition, I put out the specific values that you're supposed to develop from yourself to gain that secondary value that you're going to sell to your customer segments that I'm talking about in this video. And if you want to check out that video, click the card. I'm not sitting here like lecturing on how to do music marketing. I'm not here telling you how to do your marketing. There's a lot of other gurus on the internet, especially here on YouTube, that can actually provide you with that information. All I'm trying to teach you here is how you can like hit your target audience with an entrepreneurial mindset. Because when you're releasing music to these people, you gotta make for damn sure that you're like, from the very get-go, you pick up your instrument and you're gonna hit that first chord and you have this idea about a song in your head. Make sure that that song hits that customer segment, that target audience that you really want to hit. Like if you're, let's say if you're a hip hop artist and you wanna, and we took NF as an inspirational, he's a lot about, you know, the sad stuff. He's about being real. He's about being honest with his audience from the very get-go. That he's typing in his first words on every song. He is very honest about his stuff. And you really want to do the same thing here. It definitely if you're trying to hit his type of audience. Anyway, guys, if you want to know more about the value proposition of the business model canvas, you can go click this video up here. And if you want to follow up on the Juice podcast that comes out every Monday with my best friend Andy the Food Guy, you can press the series over here. And remember to subscribe, press that like button, and stay juicy, guys.